Good evening everyone, welcome to class. So today we'll be doing a very simple design. So the first thing we are going to do now is we are going to change our size to 3x4. That is the size we'll be using for this particular design. And the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to be working with an external background this time around. So the first thing I do is I'm going to bring in my background. This is how it is looking now. So I'm just going to change the current background color to white. So now this is how it looks. I'm just going to enlarge it to be the same size with what I'm creating. Then once I have placed it like this, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut it into different sizes in order to get what I want. Alright, this is the first one. I'll place it like this, then I'll lock it up. Then I copy the image again. And then when I copy it the second time, I'm still going to go back to crop, and I'm just going to take only the middle one this time. Once this is done, I will lock it up, recopy the image the third time, still go back to crop, and this time I'm going to take only the top layer. So right now the next thing I'm going to do is to go and change the color. For the first color, this is the gradient I'll be using. I'll be using this particular gradient. Then for the top layer, I'll be using this gradient for it. And then for the last layer, we're using the same gradient as the topmost layer. So now we are done with creating our background. Then the next thing we are going to do is to start bringing in our tools and our resources. So this is the first lady. This is how I'm going to place her. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to go and bring in the logo I'm going to be working. Then I'm going to erase the color and increase the saturation. So the default color is already white, so it's going to erase at a single strike. And then I'll go over to color filters, and then I'm going to increase the saturation to 10. Then I reduce the size a little, drag it sideways a little, and then I'm going to place it here. And then after locking it up, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in my text. so this is how it's looking. Then I'm going to go and change the color to black, and then I'm going to change the font. So the font I'm going to be using for this particular one is Bold. I'm just going to reduce the size and tilt it sideways a little. So once I have done that, then I'm going to bring in a particular shape again. I'm going to lock this one up. So I'm going to be bringing in this shape. Just pay close attention to what I'm going to be doing now. First of all, I'm going to copy the particular shape. I'm going to copy it, then I'm going to hide the first one, and it is remaining only this one. So this particular one now, I'm just going to change it. I'm just going to place it here. So as I've placed it here, I'm just going to change the text. I'm just going to erase this black color first. Erase color. I'm going to go and select the black color from it. So after erasing the black color, I'm now going to change the text color to one of the gradients we are working with. Okay, so this is the particular gradient we are using. Then I'm going to lock it up. Then I'm going to unlock this second layer. Then I'm going to still erase the color for this second layer. This time around, I'm going to erase the orange color. Okay, so this is how it's looking. Then I'm going to go back and change this particular one. The color should be black so that it's going to look neat. Then I'm just going to reduce the size, bring it to the front. And then I'm going to align it directly with the former position of this one so that it will not be noticeable. So now this is the way it is looking. I'm also going to lock it up. Then I'm going to bring in my next text. Okay, so for this particular one, I'm going to align it to the center, and then I'm going to change the text color to white. And then I'll align it to the center. Then the font I'm going to be used for it is Montserrat semi-bold. Montserrat semi-bold. So I'm just going to use position to align it properly now. So this is the way it is looking now. And then the next thing I'm going to do immediately after that is to drop a shadow over this lady here so that it's going to look realistic. For me to do that, I'm going to bring in an already existing shape from pixelLab here. I'll reduce the opacity to 0, increase my stroke width. And then I'm going to increase my blur radius to the highest. Alright, so now this is how it's looking. What I'm simply going to do is I'm now going to bring it to the very back end of the design and place it directly under this lady. So I'm going to remove it to the back and then I'm going to reduce the opacity. I also reduce the size a little bit and then I drop it overhead like this. Then I'm going to lock it up and then I'm going to recopy it. Then this particular one I copied, I'm going to reduce the size up to this extent, place it here and then move it again to the back. So I'm still going to reduce the opacity of this one furthermore. And then I'm going to lock it up. After that, I'm now going to bring in another shape entirely. So for this shape, I'm going to be using I'm going to be making use of this white color for it. Then I'm going to increase my radius to 10. Okay, so I'm going to go back and re-edit the shape. Now I'm going to leave the radius at 6. Then I'm going to place it exactly at the center. And then I'm going to lock it up. Then I'm going to bring in the last shape from my gallery now, the last image we'll be using. Okay, so this is it. Then I'm now going to reduce the size down so that it's going to be exactly the same with the one that is down here. So it's going to fit exactly at the middle of it. So I'm going to use position in this place now. The next thing I'm going to do now is to bring in another text. So for this one, I'm going to change the font to Montserrat semi-bold, and then the text color should be black. Then I'm going to lock it up and then move this guy to be in alignment with it again. So now this is the way it's looking. The last thing I'm going to do now is to save it as project and export it to my gallery. So I'm going to save it as image. I'm going to move it from JPG to PNG and then from custom to ultra. Then I'm going to save it to gallery.